Hello and welcome to Odds on La Liga, match day 9. 25% of La Liga is almost gone after this match day, almost before the second international break and after the derby in Madrid. Alvaro, a very controversial derby, really bad for the image of La Liga, actually.
It was bad, yeah. I totally agree with you. Good morning to everyone. It was the kind of thing that you don't want to see. I didn't like the attitude, obviously, of the Frente Atletico and the Ultras, but I didn't like either Simeone and 𝐿𝐭𝐭'𝐬, the captain of Atletico de Madrid, trying to level up 𝗵𝗵𝗏𝗀𝗏 alleged provocation to the stands with what the Frente Atletico did. I think that 𝗵𝗵𝗏𝗀𝗏 just behaved like a footballer, and sometimes footballers have problems or issues or disagreements with the stands, but it's unacceptable what happened at the Frente at the Civitas Metropolitano, what Frente Atletico did, and these ultras don't have any room in football. I mean, why do they want to kidnap the willingness of a football team? Why do they want to be the true representatives of ambassadors of Atletico de Madrid? They should be out. They don't help anybody. They make football more unpleasant, and Atletico de Madrid has to kick them out.
Well, in the pitch, we saw a draw. Atletico and Real Madrid cut a point from Barcelona, who suffered the first defeat of the season. We are going to talk a lot about football, and let's see what happens in this new match day. Good morning to everyone. So, guys, remember, of course, to leave your comments, ask any question to Alvaro. Now, press the like, subscribe. Let's go on. Alvaro, with the show. In general, we have really high odds in this match day for the outright market, for the 1x2. Let's set an example. This first game in Leganes, Valencia, as you can see, everything pays exactly the same. Around 3, Valencia, only 1 goal scored away, and they lost all 4 games away from Mestalla. Last one in San Sebastián the previous weekend. Leganes, 5 winless games, drew with Rayo and Getafe. I guess maybe the lowest scoring game because, Valencia cannot score away from home.
Well, yeah, Valencia has scored only 1 goal away from home this season, and therefore they are the second worst side of La Liga when it comes to playing on the road. But Leganes is the worst team from La Liga playing at home. So this game is a game of teams that, should on paper lose. Both of them cannot lose, obviously. That would defy the logics of football as we know it. But the truth is that I find it very difficult here. Of course, the bookies expect an under when it comes to goals. And maybe I can grind out some yield there and try to be a little bit positive and think that Valencia, needing the point so much, may score a goal, but Leganes can score at home too. So for me, over 1.75 goals, just obviously keeping the caution, and not getting too carried away because these sides are not scoring forces. Over 1.75 goals would be maybe my bet. It pays 175. Otherwise, this game is a pass for me. This weekend is going to be quite difficult because, the bottom half of the table, which are 10 teams, have collected in total 15 wins, all right? 15 wins for 10 teams in total. But from those 15, only 3 wins are away. So for me, back in Valencia is difficult for that reason. But Leganes, as I said before, at home they've been a disaster. They are the 20th in La Liga in the home table, if that makes sense. So I'm going to go for the goals market, but taking it with a pinch of salt.
Also, it's good this weekend probably to go for draws, and the odds are always very high, and there are a lot of teams that are level playing each other. Next game is Espanyol Mallorca, 2 points from relegation. Espanyol lost to Betis in the last minute, also to Villarreal before this after taking the lead. So it's 3 consecutive defeats for them. Mallorca, Alvaro, doing great, beating Mallorca, Valladolid, 2-1 away. 3 consecutive wins, 4 wins in the last 5 and away. This is even more surprisingly. 3 games, 3 wins.
Well, Mallorca away, they got 9 points, and they are the third best side of La Liga away. Better than Atletico de Madrid, better than Real Madrid. They've got a very good manager, Mallorca. And, last season they weren't bad either. They were rocky. There were no real reasons to see Javier Aguirre leaving. They reached the cup final as well, so they were already good. But I think that 𝐜𝐭𝐵'𝗲𝗄 has somehow shaken up a little bit the project, has made Mallorca a little bit more, I don't know if this is the right word, propositive, in the sense that Mallorca attacks a little bit more, tries to dominate more, tries to impose some attacking patterns that we didn't see with Javier Aguirre. And, obviously they are going to find it a little bit more difficult to win here or to get something from Espanyol ground without 𝗵𝗵𝐿, who is most likely to be out for this game. But Espanyol has similar problems because their best scorer in La Liga is 𝗵𝗵𝗄, and he's not there either. He's not going to be available for this game. So, something tells me that Mallorca is slightly favored for this game. It pays 260 for them to win. Espanyol to win is 320. I can see that. I can understand that. Let's put it that way. For example, something that backs Mallorca a little bit would be a draw no bet, and that will pay not bad for Mallorca in this case, and I think that is totally possible. A double chance for Mallorca is too low, 136, but a draw no bet 173, is something that I could think of. Otherwise, I'm gonna follow a very similar policy to the policy I followed before in the Leganes Valencia, which is over. The bookies think that this game is going to be an under 2.5 goals, and I could agree with that. But over 1.75, which is like a kind of a conservative bet in a way, it pays 175 too, and I'm more than happy to take it because Espanyol at home has scored goals, and Mallorca is a good side. And I know that, as I said before, 𝗵𝗵𝐿 and Puado are not there. But in Side Larín, Mallorca has a very good second choice striker, and Espanyol at home has to score, I think. So maybe over 1.75 goals, or otherwise a draw no bet for Mallorca.
Well, the draw itself pays 2.8. Andrijos is going for the draw. Chris is also going for over 2.5 goals, and in this case, Espanyol to win. That pays really, really well for sure. And Constantino's going for Mallorca to win the second half.
Edu, just very quickly, sorry. There is another bet that it's quite interesting. A first half draw, 195. Following Andrijos' logic, Andrijos is going for the bigger money, but a draw in the first half is not bad at all. It pays 2.0 almost.
Well, as I said, I think the first 4 games could be, even 5 games in this show could be easily a draw. So as soon as you have a couple of them correct, you make some money, because Getafe Osasuna could be easily a draw. We saw the first win of Getafe this season, 2-0 against Alaves, outside the relegation spots, getting better. Also, they kept it close with Barcelona, but of course they are hosting the team that beat Barcelona for the very first time in La Liga, in this La Liga season. I mean, Osasuna 4-2 is a team that they are doing great at home, but away only 1 point at Mestalla. We have to take also this in consideration, Alvaro.
We do, definitely. Look, and Osasuna at home has been great this season. I mean, they are topping the table for points collected at home. They've got 13. Real Madrid has 12, but obviously Real Madrid has played 1 game less than Osasuna at home. But anyway, 13 points out of 15 at home is a terrific tally. They beat Barcelona the other day. What can we say about Brian Zaragoza? I mean, if Brian Zaragoza hadn't left so early Granada to go to Bayern, in my opinion, he would be now playing Champions League with a side like Girona. Easily. Or he could be playing for Real Sociedad. Easy.
What a goal, eh? What a goal, a lot of quality.
Yeah, futsal, Edu.
Totally.
Quality,
Futsal.
quality. And he's fast. And the cross to Budimir as well was terrific. Brian Zaragoza, maybe, and I can understand why, all right? He comes from a humble background. He had to fight a lot to play in the top flight. And a year ago, suddenly, he was called by Luis de la Fuente to play for Spain. After having, 6-7 games in La Liga, that was all his experience. And then in winter, Bayern makes an offer for him, and Brian Zaragoza must have been really flattered. But as a career move, I don't think that it was the right thing to do. But again, it's inevitable to go to Bayern if they call you. But, he has the quality. And Brian Zaragoza and Budimir up front, all together with the good midfielders that Osasuna have, make Osasuna a very good side, entertaining. At home, they are going to get many points, and they are getting many points. Away from home, that's still to be seen. They are playing against Getafe. Getafe has improved a little bit. They've got no injuries to start with, which is very important because Bordalás at the start of the season had a few injuries to deal with. And, up front, Borja Mayoral is finally there. He will play up front altogether with most likely Carles Pérez. 𝗀𝐿𝐵cie is finally playing as a midfielder. Ziad Arambarri is having a good season too. So, I could go here for Getafe at home are a tough nut to crack, but Osasuna is in a good form as well. So maybe I'm going for an over again, and I'm going to repeat myself in the first 3 games, over 1.75 goals, just because Osasuna has firepower and because Getafe at home, I can see them scoring at least one. Getafe Osasuna over 1.75 goals, 180.
Well, Andre just said, and it's true that he said in our previous show, Zaragoza to score, but I thought it was the team in Segunda División because it was misspelled, and I didn't think about Brian Zaragoza to score, but because it's written similar in Italian. But yeah, it was 7, Brian Zaragoza to score. Now he's going for Osasuna to win. It pays really well, 4.0. Let's see if Getafe, after this win, can also start the season. They have a squad, I think, not to be, and a manager, especially not to be this close from the relegation spots. Next game, another tough one is Valladolid Rayo, but the odds are good for Rayo Vallecano. Actually, 2.6. Valladolid is one of the worst teams with the worst squad in La Liga, but they have collected 5 points, more than Las Palmas. For instance, they lost to Mallorca. It's only 1 point in the last 5 games, but at home, they tend to fight. They tend to keep it close, but Rayo... Alvaro, despite the 3 consecutive draws, I guess the bookies are right to place them as favorites. Slightly.
Yeah, slightly. Let's don't get too carried away anyway.
No,
let's don't get too carried away. Rayo Vallecano was checking their form away. Look, they are the 7th best team away in La Liga, and they've got 5 points away in 4 games. It's not that much.
Last season, they were very good away.
Sorry?
Last season, they were very good also away from home.
Yeah. No. And the best thing about Rayo is that away from home don't crumble. But still, they don't have so many points away. This is my whole point. I mean, they have played 4 points away from home this season, and they got 5 points. It's just they survive it. They survive it, no more than this, really. And is that enough to back Rayo Vallecano completely? I find it difficult too, and I'm totally on board with you. Valladolid doesn't have anything that makes me think that they are going to be safe in April. Not at all. They are going to be fighting until the end. And, I think the Valladolid are going to suffer this season. But this is the kind of game in which the farthest I could stretch my money will be a draw no bet for Rayo Vallecano, which is not bad. It pays 175. I think that they can win at Valladolid. Yes. I think that Valladolid has to be considered the underdog in this game. Yes. But on the other hand, this is not such a mismatch. So draw no bet for Rayo Vallecano, 175. Happy to stay there.
Philosophy is going for double chance for Rayo Vallecano, and Chris is going for over 2.5 goals. Valladolid concede a lot, but not at Zorrilla, actually. When they play at home, they don't concede that much. Be careful. Andre Jos is suggesting going for corners for Rayo Vallecano. If you go for corners, they have a sniper, a good shooter like James Rodriguez. He played last game from the beginning, and I'm sure we will see him in the international break with Colombia. Well, next game, another tough one, Unión Deportiva Las Palmas, Celta Vigo, because Celta, they are favorites with 2.3, but they are poor outside Balaidos, 3 defeats in all the games they've played. All the games were close, were both teams to score. They are always in the score sheet, but they haven't won in the last 3. But Alvaro, the bookies don't trust Las Palmas. They see something really bad about Las Palmas, that they placed them in Segunda División and they gave them odds really poor, even if at home they haven't been as terrible as away.
No, definitely. You're right. But still, Las Palmas formed this season. You know, they got a draw against Real Madrid at home, which is like, congratulations, guys. Well done. But they don't win. I mean, against Villarreal last Monday, they were leveling the game 1-0 in the 84th minute, and then they missed patience, as Kirian, one of their footballers, said, and Villarreal scored 2 goals. And they got this campaign 3 points out of 24, counting or putting together home and away form. And this is their worst ever start in 36 top flight campaigns. You know, there are no reasons right now to back Las Palmas, a team that hasn't won this season and a team that hasn't won a football game, I think, that since the start of spring or the end of winter. So it's very difficult to back them. They've got a few key injuries, by the way, like Mika Marmol won't be there, Thilesen, we know about that, Sandro, one of their strikers. However, Celta, you know, away from home hasn't been good, but at least I can see Celta being one of these sides that, number one, are not going to suffer, and number two, they are going to entertain us. And I think Celta are capable of getting something out of Las Palmas ground. So a draw no bet for Celta 163. I like it. I could go up to Asian handicap minus 0.25 for Celta, which pays 195. I do believe that a good performance from Celta away may be coming up, and there is no better place right now to do that than Las Palmas ground. Or otherwise, and this is a little bit more speculative maybe, but Celta to score over 1.5 goals, 1.9, hasn't happened yet, you know, often. Celta scoring more than 1 goal away from home. So that's a possibility. It pays good, but my favorite here would be Asian handicap minus 0.25 for Celta, 195, or otherwise a draw no bet for Celta, 163. Very quickly on Celta, we have spoken about 𝐜𝐨𝐧𝐧𝐧𝐞𝐜 since he took over. He changed the team. The team plays happy football, free flow, and sometimes it's very entertaining. But also they've got a good academy that I haven't mentioned. For example, the likes of 𝗶𝐻𝐻𝐿 are playing very well, academy products. In fact, Celta, knowing about how appealing it can be for a team to get to 𝗶𝐻𝐻𝐿, have extended his contract until 2028, and then they have gotten themselves a footballer with experience like Marcos Alonso, who has played already 4 straight games, and I think that there is like a good mix of youth with the likes of 𝗶𝐻𝐻𝐿 and experience with the likes of Marcos Alonso, Iago Aspas, Borja Iglesias, that make Celta a team that looks balanced to me right now, and that is the best thing you can say about the football side, I would say.
Andre Jos is highlighting Aspas, what a game changer against Girona. Well, 22 games without a win in La Liga for Las Palmas. Last time was 11th of February against Valencia at home. That's why, of course, the odds are so bad for Las Palmas. They were lucky to get safe last season, because they were thinking at that time in February in Europe. Well, Mustafa is going for a draw in this game, under 1.5 goals in the first half for Chris. Indeed, Alvaro got another ACCA, this time in the Champions League on Tuesday. So congratulations to Alvaro. Congratulations to everyone following Alvaro. We will see in a few minutes what is his ACCA for La Liga. I can see that this is a very difficult match day.
It is.
Next one, Real Madrid, Villarreal, and here the odds are very, very low for Real Madrid, not even 1.3, playing against a very dangerous team like Villarreal. Right now, they are third in the standings, 17 points. They beat Las Palmas. 𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐲 is really informed. Even, okay, they lost to Barcelona. They got thrashed, but they created many chances, many goals disallowed by 2 centimeters by VAR. And between these two teams, we've been seeing, Alvaro, in recent times, a lot of goals. Last season was 4-4 in Villarreal, 4-1 for Real Madrid. A couple of seasons ago, Villarreal won at the Bernabeu, and the good news for Ancelotti is that 𝗵𝐵𝐴 looks ready because he is gonna play even in the Champions League. Camavinga, I guess, should start because he's been on the bench, or he was on the bench against Atletico de Madrid. And after the break, Real Madrid have a tough schedule. I would say this is a tough game as well. And then Celta away, Dortmund, and Football Club Barcelona.
Yes. Well, the good games are coming up, and there is nothing wrong with that. I'm really happy about that. We're going to enjoy that. But, you mentioned a few scores that happened between Villarreal and Real Madrid as of late in the last couple of years. And I would say that even there was a game, Real Madrid-Villarreal at Santiago Bernabéu, that was a career-changing game for 𝗵𝐿 I think that the reason why he went to Milan, it was partially because he played so well at Santiago Bernabéu that day. This game is, I'm not going to miss it. There is no way I'm missing this game. It's going to be so entertaining. I know that Real Madrid has been at times a team that perhaps wasn't as creative as we might have thought, but of course there were some new pieces to assemble. So important to play without Kroos and to bring in Kylian Mbappé. So basically from the 4-4-2 of the last season with the control and the compass of Toni Kroos, Real Madrid went to playing with the 4-3-3 sometimes, with Kylian Mbappé and Rodrigo and Vinicius being cornered away a little bit towards the flanks. So Real Madrid needed some adjustments, but the best thing about Real Madrid is that they have been compact no matter what, and this is so important as well. True that against Alaves they conceded 2 goals that didn't make any sense, just in the space of 3 minutes. True that against Atletico de Madrid they couldn't get the 3 points, but that game, number 1, was totally marked by what happened in the stands. And number 2, the goal of 𝐿𝐭𝐴, as good as it was just a marginal 1 centimeter no offside. So I think Real Madrid is defending decently, and the best is still to come. Obviously, without 𝗵𝗵𝐿𝐴, Real Madrid is losing some solidity in goal, but Lunin, in my opinion, is a good second choice goalkeeper, and last season he was the one who brought forward Real Madrid in some difficult games as well. Mbappé should be back, as you mentioned, surprise and recovery by the Frenchman. And when it comes to Villarreal, look, having Villarreal or Athletic Club Bilbao or Celta in La Liga is good for La Liga. They are teams that they play with no fear. Villarreal is scoring a lot of goals. He's conceding many as well. But the point tally of Villarreal so far is very good, 17 points out of 24. Marcelino is basically replicating the point tally of his start of the season for Villarreal in the 13-14 season. That time it was more difficult because Villarreal was a newly promoted side. But Villarreal is good. Sometimes they play with a lot of risk. I remember that against Celta they could have lost the game and they won it. Against Las Palmas they could have drawn it, but they won it 3-1. And at some point Villarreal has to get a little bit of control of the games. All that said, thank you for being like this. It's been great to see you so far. And I think that there is a player that we have to speak about because 𝐿𝐴 is the second best scorer of La Liga so far. A footballer that looked kind of a half number 9 when he played for Newcastle and Leicester. It's true that at Tenerife, a decade ago, He almost hit 20 goals in one season. It was in the Spanish second division, but I've never seen a youth scoring so many goals so consistently. So, he's going to be one of the main attacking threats of Villarreal at Santiago Bernabéu. Barry is a very good number 9. At least he offers that physicality that Villarreal needs sometimes. Maybe Gerard Moreno is fading away. Maybe Parejo is fading away. But new stars are coming up. One of them so clearly, Alex Baena. 14 assists last season, 5 this campaign. He's 23 years old, and his assist ratio at Villarreal is better than, write it down, 𝐜𝐭𝐚𝐲, Cazorla, or Robert Pires. So there is a player there at Santiago Bernabéu like Baena who can create many chances as well. This is going to be entertaining. So that's why I'm going to go for over 1.5 goals in the second half, 150, or even over 2 goals in the second half, 190. Otherwise, both teams to score, 167. Real Madrid, are they favorite? I think so, but it doesn't pay enough for me to back them. So I'm going to go for what I said, the goals market.
Well, there are so many options also among our audience. They are not missing this game. Mustafa, Real Madrid to score in both halves. Real Madrid to score over 1.5 goals in the second half for Constantinos. Andrios is going for both teams to score 1.6 or Real Madrid to win from behind 6.1, he says also. Halftime Villarreal, full-time Real Madrid. This is difficult, of course. 19, but could happen. So a lot of options also. Constantino, Real Madrid to win and over 3.5 goals. It looks like this is the game to watch and to bet. Great game at the Bernabeu Saturday evening. And then we have 4 more games on Sunday. Girona, Athletic, both are playing European football. Girona on Wednesday, and they are winless in the last 5 games. They drew in Vigo, they lost to Valencia, to Barça. Recently in La Liga, still the bookies, Alvaro, plays them as favorite against your Athletic, a team that seemed improved in the recent weeks, and it's not easy to beat Athletic at all.
Yeah, no, that's true. They are improved, but lately they are not winning either. So I'm happy with what they are doing, but they are paying, obviously, the European tax. Let's put it that way. When you play in Europe, and Athletic Club Bilbao played against Roma 6 days ago, then they played against Sevilla. They couldn't duplicate their scoreline, and then Sevilla got a late equalizer. Now Athletic Club Bilbao are playing against 𝐜𝐨𝐧𝐧𝐞𝐿. Then they are playing against Girona. There is a European tax also for Girona. Don't get me wrong, also for Girona. So this game for me is a little bit tricky as well. Girona is going to rest one more day. Have they been convincing this season? The answer is no. Have they been scoring as many goals as last season? The answer is no. Have they been bad? I think they haven't been that bad. And the numbers soon will be better for Girona. Same thing applies for Athletic Club Bilbao. I think that the numbers are decent, but they will improve. But with so many European football, so much European football and so many rotations, for me to go to the full-time market in this game is a little bit difficult, really. It's true that Girona will miss 2 players that are going to be important this season, like Alvaro Romeo and 𝗛𝗲𝗍𝗀 Blind, and that weakens Girona quite a lot, in my opinion, in the central channel. Athletic Club Bilbao, they've got their players out too, that's true, but Sunset could return, even though don't forget that Athletic Club Bilbao doesn't have Unai Simón, first choice goalkeeper, still injured, and Aguirrezabala, the second choice goalkeeper, was sent off against Sevilla, meaning that Padilla, the third choice goalkeeper, will play again. This season we have seen Padilla play again. For example, in the season opener against Getafe, these things happen. It's good to have a good squad. If Athletic Club Bilbao's academy produces something, it's goalkeepers. Basically, it's like a factory of producing good goalkeepers for all the world. Remiro, Kepa, Unai Simón, and so on and so on and so on. But still, for this game, given the very likely rotations, given the very likely tiredness plus the calendar congestion, I think that going for the full-time market is difficult. I'm going to go for the goals market. Over 2.25 goals in this game, 173.
Andrius says he cannot understand how Girona are favorites in this game. Girona both teams to score. Another option for Konstantinos. Let's keep going. Alaves Barça is the next one. Alaves can be dangerous, especially playing at home. 10 points so far at home, 2 wins and 1 draw. They beat Sevilla, they beat Las Palmas, for instance, and Barça. They smashed Young Boys as expected. I guess Alvaro Flick is not going to rotate again against Alaves, at least not this heavily as he did in Pamplona. And good news, we saw Frenkie de Jong back on the pitch in the Champions League.
Yeah, and why do I still believe in Frenkie de Jong? I don't know. I still believe that there is a very good player in him, that he had the bad fortune of being coached by Valverde for 5 months. And then I think that Valverde was a good coach for him, but Valverde was sacked. Then 𝐿𝐭𝐴 then Ronald Koeman, and then Xavi Hernandez. And I do believe that Frenkie de Jong under Hansi Flick can be a better footballer. So I really hope so, because I think the Dutchman, despite not being an incisive passer, despite not being maybe the architect that we thought that he could be, as a ball carrier, he is phenomenal. And I think that that is a quality that many coaches are looking for right now, because in football we see these days increasingly more and more 1v1s in midfield. Many teams are man marking, and Frenkie de Jong has all the qualities to escape the marking, to elude the marking, and to make numerical superiorities in the pitch. So hopefully Frenkie de Jong will be ready to play 90 minutes very soon. I think that he will play, if anything, 30 minutes against Alaves, no more. But yeah, Barcelona drop points against Osasuna. I think that against Alaves probably they have learned the lesson. They will probably play at least with 𝐿𝐭𝐴 Martínez and Pau 𝗵𝐻𝗄 as centre backs. 𝐿𝐭 Martínez didn't start against Osasuna. And then in the midfield, I guess that Hansi Flick will play with 3 midfielders. So, just to make the team a little bit more compact, because playing against Alaves is difficult. I mean, I was checking the numbers of Alaves, and you and I have the perception that Alaves at home is good. And they are so good that in 2024, do you know how many games they have lost at home?
1?
2, which is a very good tally. They lost against Real Sociedad, and they lost, by the way, against Barcelona. But only 2 defeats at home. And this season, for example, they have gotten 7 points out of 9 in their home ground at Mendizorroza. So this is not going to be easy. However, I think Barcelona is the ultimate survivor, at least in the first 2 months of the season. 8 wins, 2 losses, yes, but the numbers are good. It's got a lot of merit what Hansi Flick has done so far with such a depleted squad. I'm going to back Barcelona, and I know that Alaves at home are more than decent. I'm going to back Barcelona with an Asian handicap minus 0.75, 171, because I think that this time Hansi Flick is not going to do rotation. The Champions League game was on Tuesday. There is time to rest. The best players are going to be on the pitch. And when Hansi Flick plays with the best players, normally Barcelona wins.
Well, Rafinha and Lewandowski to score. For instance, Konstantinos is telling us Barça to win and both teams to score. Andriy also reminding us that Alaves lost 1-0 to Real Madrid. Lucas Vázquez scored the winner in the last minute. I think was in Christmas time last year. And Filosofia also thinks that Barça will capitalize in here 3-1. He is thinking after the defeat in Pamplona, Barça to bounce back in Vitoria nearby. Actually, let's see, because this is a tricky game. Luckily for Barcelona, their Champions League game didn't pay at all, because it was very easy against Young Boys. And we have a great weekend in La Liga, we have to say, because we have 2 more good games. This one is called El Gran Derby in Spain. Sevilla Betis, two teams that are improving little by little, especially Sevilla. You can always improve when you start so low. 9 points, drew with Athletic, positive sign after beating Valladolid, but it's a team that struggles a lot every time they get the win or the points this season. And Betis relying on Lo Celso, same goals as Mbappe in this season. In the head-to-head, usually Sevilla gets the points between these two teams, but Alvaro, in the last 4 derbies, 4 draws. We have to go back to 2018 to see Betis winning in La Liga, beating their neighbors.
Well, that was the time when Joaquin on television said that everyone had to get drunk after that win, no? Because did Betis win 5-1 that time?
No, there was 2 games in that year, the 1-0, that we are seeing now, and I think the same year Betis won 3-4 at 3-5. 3-5.
3-5. Okay, yeah, that was the one. But anyway, here, look, I've got a little bit of a conflict because I think Betis is a better team, not a very good team, a better team. But there are 2 caveats. Number 1, Betis is playing in Europe. And number 2, Betis away from home is rather poor. And Sevilla hasn't been good at all, but there is an improvement in them. I mean, that's something that we can prove just going at the numbers. I mean, from the last 12 points available, Sevilla got 7, which is basically, something decent. Sevilla got 2 points in the first 4 games of the season, and then they got 7 in the subsequent 4 games. So there is an improvement at Sevilla, for sure. And Betis, yes, they are very reliant on Lo Celso, yes. Betis, they've got 3 more points than Sevilla, so they have been better and they are better and they are in Europe. But being in Europe is a disadvantage coming into this game. And Betis away from home has been unconvincing. We can agree on that. I mean, all the wins of Betis this season have been at home. Away from home, they have lost, for example, against Real Madrid, which is understandable, and then they drew against Las Palmas, against Alaves. For example, Betis, if they were decent away from home, they would have beaten Las Palmas away from home. So for this game, I'm going to back Sevilla slightly with a draw no bet, 186. As you can see, I am not going to be super adventurous here because Sevilla has their own issues as well. Maybe 𝐜𝐿𝐴𝐵 Romero doesn't play. But Sevilla, at least they were resilient at Bilbao. They got a point. And Betis is only good at home. So draw no bet for Sevilla, 186.
Another good option, probably this one for a draw, and under for Andrijos. Betis playing in Warsaw against Legia in conference, but probably Pellegrini is going to put the 4th team to play in this conference, thinking about the derby, of course, much more important. Cards is always on the table in this kind of derbies, very, very hot. They don't like each other, Sevilla and Betis. And last game, another good game in San Sebastián, Real Sociedad, Atletico de Madrid, first win of the season for Real Sociedad with 𝐿𝐴𝐵, with Óscarson scoring. Both teams are playing European football in this midweek. And Atletico de Madrid, maybe we should start thinking about backing them to score in the last 15 minutes of the game.
Yes, we can, because that's the way they have won a few games. They got a point against Real Madrid like this. They won at San Mamés like this. With Correa scoring, Correa is the ultimate survivor. He arrived at Atletico de Madrid in 2015, and he's still there despite not playing a lot. And one thing that our dear friend Leo Bachanian always pinpoints about Correa is the fact that no matter how long he's on the pitch, he always has an impact. If he plays 10 minutes, he uses the 10 minutes. If he plays 8, he will make the most of them. He always has an impact in the game, no matter how little he plays. And that's mainly because he moves very well in between the lines, and his moves are very, very clever. For this game, look, Real Sociedad are improving, that's for sure. Let's see what they do in Europe, by the way, against Anderlecht. Same thing applies to Atletico de Madrid. Let's see how they do at the Estadio da Luz against Benfica. but Atletico is resilient. Atletico is not flashy. There are things about Atletico that I don't like yet. For example, sometimes Simeone moves the players too much around. The other day, Llorente, who is suspended for this game, by the way, played as a holding midfielder the first half against Real Madrid. And Llorente is not a holding midfielder, and not even for Simeone. When Atletico signed Llorente, Llorente was supposed to be a holding midfielder. Simeone tried him there, didn't like him there, and Llorente didn't play for about 4 or 5 months until Simeone started playing him on the wing. And suddenly against Real Madrid, Llorente plays as a holding midfielder. Julian Alvarez plays as a left winger. How is that possible? How is that possible? I think Simeone is misusing a little bit the talent he's got. But Atletico is staying competitive, and they haven't lost this season. This is important to say as well, because this is the sign of a team that at least will travel to grounds like Anoeta and will put a performance. Real Sociedad, as I said, again, improving. And the other day with Óscarson scoring 2 goals, I saw one thing in Real Sociedad that they didn't have last season, the ability to counter-attack. And this is an addition that is going to help a lot Real Sociedad, because this season, without having Merino, Real Sociedad is less capable of controlling the games. So sometimes sitting deep and counter-attacking can be an option. And Óscarson looks very fast to me. So that's a possibility for Real Sociedad. For this game, I'm going to go for the following. Over 1 goal in the second half. Just following your logic, Bedu. Atletico is scoring in the second half goals, that's for sure. Especially in the stoppage time of the second halves. Otherwise, Asian handicap minus 0.25 for Atletico, 198.
Well, our friend Andrius is going for a double chance for Atletico de Madrid. Abdul is the opposite. He is not trusting Atletico. He is going for 1x, and Mustafa is going for an under 2.5 goals. Well, a lot of comments, tips. By the way, we've just started, Alvaro, a new tipster competition for the Premier League. So we can test our knowledge also in the Premier League, and you can win €1,000 in the prize pool. You have now yearly competition, monthly. We've just started the new month. NFL, if someone is American football fan, and now also Premier League. So don't miss our show with Tom Rennie tomorrow, and you will have also more insights about the Premier League, and perhaps you want to try your luck. It's completely for free, and even you can win some money. So win-win situation. We need another one for La Liga. I completely agree, Andrius. I will tell the bosses to create another one for La Liga whenever they want. And
you are the boss, Edu. You are the boss.
I wish. Alvaro, let's go with your safe bet.
Real Madrid Villarreal, okay. Over 1.5 goals in the second half, 150.
I have the feeling that I'm going to suffer in that game. And the ACCA?
It will be a draw no bet for Celta. Girona Athletic Club over 2 goals. Real Madrid Villarreal over 1.5 goals in the second half. Altogether 361.
You've been creative. It's very difficult this match day in La Liga. I would aim people to go for draws in this match day, but tell me if it's correct or not. The following week, remember that we have international break, so La Liga is back in a couple of weeks. In the meantime, thank you, Alvaro. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.